Get your fine self. You are looking good today. Yes, I'm talking to you, the one looking at my face right now in the screen. What's up? You are going to have a great day. You about to learn some things. You about to know what it's like to go to BYU-Idaho, baby. Okay, so I put together a list of pros and cons of attending school in Idaho, the land of potatoes, the land of white people and snow and God. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to talk about the good things. I'm going to talk about the bad things. I'm going to be real with you. Are you ready? Okay. So first of all, when I first pull up in Idaho after driving 23 hours from Dallas, Texas to get there, the first thing I noticed is lots of fields and a railroad track. And I thought I was about to be in one of those scary movies. I thought my mom and my sister dropped me off. I was about to be stranded. And it was terrifying. It was cold. You know, the cold just makes everything worse. Made me just want to stay inside and cuddle up and not leave the house. I didn't know very many people. So with that being said, let's start with the pros, because I don't want this video to sound negative, because it's not going to be negative. It's going to be real. This is like real stuff. Okay. So I made a little list of 5 things I liked and 5 things I didn't. So let's get started. Number 1. One thing that was exciting is, okay, I served my mission in California. So pulling up in Idaho, I wasn't alone. I had a lot of mission friends there. You were able to just connect. Like when you serve a mission, I'll drop my pen. When you serve a mission, right, you're serving your mission with people from all over the world. So it's really hard to see each other unless you're in Utah, honestly, or BYU-Idaho. And so I was able to have really awesome kind of support system when I got there, because I didn't have any family there. That leads me into number 2, which is just making good friendships. Okay, this may not be everybody's experience at BYU-Idaho, but no doubt I would testify behind this. I have made some of the best friends in my life at BYU-Idaho. When you're able to find the right people, they are loving and genuine and just want to have fun and enjoy life. If that's something cool about going to a church school, is you're able to find people who have that underlying belief as you. Sometimes that other underlining, what should I say? I don't want to say platform, foundation, the underlining foundation. So you guys already believe a lot of this. You believe the same thing as far as God and having the spirit with you and just living a full and happy life, right? And then once you find people who are on your level as far as how they see the world, how serious they take life, having fun, man, like I had some of the most fun at BYU-Idaho with the friends I had there. No doubt. And it's so easy to make quality friends. Okay, number 3 is it was easy to focus on God because, 1, there's nothing else to do. Nah, I'm joking, y'all. There's other stuff. There's other stuff to do. Trust me. People found other stuff to do. But what I mean is your classes, all your classes start with prayer. When you're having a lesson, whether it be about science, history, law, social media, it's always tied back to God. And I thought that was such a beautiful thing. Like it was so great to be able to talk about something that was so big in my life and to be able to apply it to every aspect of my life. Now there are definitely times that could be taken to extreme, and it's like, okay, like did not have to go there with that. Can we just talk about science today? But overall, it was like, it just showed you how God can be a part of every single aspect of your life. to your major, to going out into the career and just choosing to be a good person. So they really nailed that in us, as being a good person in the workforce and how we're going to use our major for good. So pro for sure. Number 4. This was a wake-up call for me. And some of you guys might be like, really? Like, you didn't know that? But being in Dallas, Texas, and not being raised in the Latter-day Saint community, I had this idea of how people in the church were. A lot of times I felt like I needed to strive towards perfection, and that everybody my age and older had just always made good choices. It was really kind of hard to hear and see people's flaws. Because when you hear people from the podium and you say, you know, I've had this issue, I've had this issue, it's like, yeah, but did you have this issue? But going to BYU-Idaho, it was interesting because you meet a broad amount of people. And what I mean by that is a broad amount of commitment. So there were people who were there literally because the tuition is at a nice price for members of the church. So they had already decided that they really didn't believe in the gospel, but the education was really good. So, you know, why not just deal with it for 4 years and get a good education? And so there was, honestly, there was partying, there was drugs, there was a lot of things that happen at other colleges, normal things that people just like don't think is at BYU-Idaho. It is there. If you find the right little blanket to look under, you gonna find it. You just gotta look. You can choose to be sheltered and never see it, if you hang, you know. But if you just open your eyes, you'll see. Okay? So there's normal partying, right? And then there's people that are extreme. I'm talking about they've never been out of Idaho. They've never been out of Utah. They've never seen a colored person in their life. They don't even know how to spell Obama. That's what I mean. Extreme, where it's like almost ignorant. And it like, honestly, it's really easy to feel some type of hate in your heart when you're around those type of people, because they just speak and you're like, do you talk to people? Like, have you ever talked to somebody who hasn't had the exact life you've had? Because what you're saying right now sounds really ignorant, and I just want to educate you. But after a while, you just can't educate everybody. It's so exhausting trying to educate everybody on real life, on real problems. And so, but then you saw the people that were good, that were, well, they're good to me. There's extremes. Not everybody's there. There's also people in the middle who, you know, my best friends were the people who came from places that there was not a lot of members. So they had friends that were members. They had a few friends that were members, and they had a lot of people who weren't. So they weren't like, they didn't have like this blindfold over their life, over their face, over their, you know, of their thoughts. They saw different types of realities, different types of struggles. And they were, to me, some of the people with the strongest testimonies, because they had experienced both, and then they had chose to be where they were. They had chose to love God. They chose to make him the center of their life, even though they've seen both. And so there was extremes to commitment. There was extremes to ignorance. But it really opened my eyes, because when I got there, I really thought like, it's not even honestly just in religion. I am a perfectionist, and I really felt like if I didn't do everything right, I was failing. Like if I was not reading my scriptures every day, if I was not praying every day, I just felt like I was not being a good member of the church. I was not being a good disciple of Christ. But then I realized, oh my goodness, this person over here, Sally, she looks perfect. Only if you knew. And then I was like, Alicia, you're doing okay. Like, I know that might sound bad, but I came to a reality like, okay, we're all people. No matter how long you've had the gospel in your life, no matter if you've had it in your family, we all have the same temptations. Some people admit it, some people don't. So it kind of helped me, like, I was able to find my place in the gospel. That was a mix of my mission and attending school at BYU-Idaho. being cool with who I was in the gospel. Okay? Number 5. The last one for the pros. I'm sure there's more, but these are the top 5. Adventures. Okay. There is no restaurants. There is no food. Really. They're getting better. There's more things being built, but there's not very many options. So you go on lots of adventures. Literally, oh my goodness. We would spend weekends in the mountains. We would just find different places to go hike. We'd start fires in the sand dunes, which is like kind of little hills full of sand, some big hills full of sand. And you just go and start fires. We'd like bring a ukulele, sing, make up stupid songs, tell stories, roast marshmallows. When it was snowing, skiing, sledding, and honestly, simple things like just game nights. Because everybody there, we were dealing with a lot of the same things. And I can't relate to other colleges because the only other college I've really been at was a community college when I got my associates before I transferred. But it was a testament to me that you can have a lot of fun without drinking. You can have a lot of clean fun. Like, you really didn't need all that stuff to really just have a blast. And I really figured that out at BYU-Idaho. We had so much fun. And weekends, we would drive an hour, hour and a half, and we just do photo shoots in mountains, in lakes. We'd travel across the United States because there wasn't a lot of things to do in Idaho, so that was the thing to do. Go on road trips, go on adventures. And now that made it really dull when I came back to Dallas and there was no mountains. I lived some place called Cedar Hill, and these hills, let me tell you, these hills, these baby hills, they don't do nothing for me. And the weather here, like being back in Dallas, the weather in Idaho, honestly, really, to me, it grew on me. And I really don't think it's that bad, but that's a different video. I really loved Idaho. If you dress right when it's cold, you're good. And then when it's hot, it feels great. And you just want to be outside. It's like, oh, I like being outside. I like taking walks. Oh, I never knew that in Dallas because it's hot as heck. Okay, so moving on to the cons. Let's be real. And if there are any more pros or cons that you're thinking about while I do this video, comment them below. Because maybe I can do another video talking about those. Because I'm sure there's lots of things that I missed. And also everybody's experience there is different. Everybody's story is different. Okay, so con number 1. I mentioned some of these briefly in the pros. Closed-minded people. Like, there are literally people who have had generations of people who were active in the church, and it's not necessarily saying just because your whole family's active in the church, you're sheltered, but they really hadn't been around a lot of people who weren't living the lifestyle they were living. So their expectations and their judgment was just like, sometimes to me, out of this world. Like, really? You didn't know that? Like, for real? And I did not hang around these people very much. You're gonna pass them if you live in Idaho. And so I try to educate as much as I can, but there's only so much education you can do before you just get tired. You're like, okay, now you just gotta figure this out because I'm tired of educating everybody about what other people go through in the world. Okay? So people that were sheltered. Okay. Oh my goodness. Number 2. I went through, for real, like an identity crisis. And I think if you go to Idaho, you have to. Unless you were born in Idaho or Utah. Some people in Utah, you still got to go through an identity crisis. Well, but for me, more so my identity crisis was looking around and seeing nobody else who looked like me. And I'm pretty pale. I got some black in me, but I'm pretty pale. And there was not very many people who look like me. And so being like, okay, I'm black. I don't see very many other black people. They're there, but you gotta find them. Black people, they flock together. A lot of them do, like, because you have to for your sanity. You're like, it's just something about a breath of fresh air when you see somebody else who has some melanin in there. Is it melanin or melatonin? I almost said melatonin. When they have some color in them, oh, it's something so beautiful. It's something I took for granted being in Dallas, because in Dallas, you walk into the store, it's sprinkled with chocolate. I'm not in Idaho. And so, and it was about not seeing people that look like me, but it was also seeing people who couldn't relate to me. And then also just being thick and curvy, I didn't feel like there was a lot, like, there wasn't really a market for that. You feel me? So that goes into number 3. Dating in Idaho was shady. Oh my goodness. Dating in Idaho is like a 5,000 layer cake. So let me just throw off some of the layers. 1, finding a man that likes a black woman or a mixed woman, because I'm black and white. Right? Like, I was used to being in Dallas, and every time I walked into a store, somebody tried to talk to me. I went to Idaho, and I was like, damn. Did I get ugly? Does my breath stink? Do I stink? You know? And then it was like also feeling like I had to fit the norm of skinny white girls, blonde hair. Sometimes even brunette hair, but I'm not trying to throw shade on you if you're white with blonde hair, but you are definitely the majority. And honestly, a lot of guys there, they were looking for that perfect princess, Cinderella, beautiful look. Like, I'm not joking. Like, it was just like, dang, you don't want no color? Because in Dallas, yellow bones were in style. Not here, baby. They didn't get the memo here. Okay? I mean, like... Look at me. Anyway, also, just, don't get me wrong, there was people who tried to talk to me, but it was just hard to find somebody like I vibed with too, who had been through similar things, who could talk about life, who had similar goals. There were far in between. Yeah. Also, there's this expectation on marriage. And now you already know that if you have not heard the nickname BYU-I do. It's for real. People get married at 18, 19, 20, 21. And I have a love-hate relationship with this, because I do believe family is the most important thing. I think creating a family is a beautiful thing. But I think more so what my problem is that there were people there, 19-year-old girls, 19-year-old boys, who didn't even know who they were. They didn't even know who they were as an individual. You know what I'm saying? And like, things change, and you know what? I guess they'll figure it out, but I never understood that. That was never for me. But also what it did do, being in Idaho, is like, I'm 21, I'm 22, I'm not married. Oh my goodness, I'm getting old. I'm going to be in the what is it called? The old single adult ward. I'm going to be 30 and single. I'm going to be in that ward. I don't want to be in that ward. They're going to kick me out of the YSA ward. And then I'm going to be in that weird in-between stage where I don't want to go to the family ward because I don't have a family. But I can't go to YSA because I'm too old. I don't want to do that. And so it created like this fear of like, oh my goodness, I'm 22, I'm 23, and I'm not married. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? Oh my goodness. I left Idaho and I was like, what is wrong with me? Why did I want to get married? Getting married at 30, what is wrong with that? I'll have my career figured out. I'll have me figured out as an individual. I'm going to be a bomb mom and wife because I know me. The moral of the story is everybody's timing is different, but being in Idaho, there is a lot of pressure to be married, to have a family, to hurry up. Whew. That was exhausting. Okay, let's move on. Let's move on because I can talk about that all day. I can do a whole video about that. If you want a whole video about that, let's talk about that. Number 4. Number 4. even though like having God in your life in every aspect with your roommates, keeping you accountable, they can call the honor code if you're not behaving, if you're not following the rules you said you get kicked out of school, you know, you have to be home by midnight. Even though there was a lot of like love as far as like, oh, we talk about God in our classrooms, a lot of that created a community of judgment. People who felt entitled to be God themselves. They felt like they could, you know, point the ruler. And I'm not going to lie. I found myself like when I was called to be Relief Society president, and I found myself like feeling like I was a bad person if I did not keep my roommates accountable. If I did not, like I was supposed to report to honor code if somebody did something bad. Like, I hated that pressure I felt, but then I realized like, oh my goodness, I'm just stuck in this bubble at BYU, Idaho. Somebody coming home at 12:05, oh my goodness, they're not a sinner. Okay? It's okay if they're not home by midnight. Like, it doesn't mean they're out there rubbing cooches. Okay, I can't believe I just said that, but I said it. I think I heard it in a movie last night. Kissing Booth. He was talking about rubbing cooches with his brother. Yep, that's it. If you know what I'm talking about, comment below. But yes, like, it doesn't mean that they're this big sinner, you know? Or they miss church a Sunday. Oh my goodness. Like, you feel like you have to be the police when Bishop says, where's Sarah? Oh, that's one of my real roommates. I was thinking I was saying a random name, but that was what, hi Sarah. Where's, Becky? Becky's in bed, Bishop. Why is Becky in bed? Bishop, Becky didn't feel good, Bishop. But you know what? What I really think it is, Bishop, is she was up all night, Bishop. No, I didn't do that. But they made, like, the Relief Society president. I was a Relief Society president, and I wanted everybody to be there, believe me. But you start, like, it's like they're secretly training you to be a little snitch. Okay, but there's a lot of judgment going on. I diverge. Okay, let's go to number 5, the last one. Cons of being at BYU-Idaho. I touched on this briefly in the pros. Dating life. For me, it was a con because it was boo-boo. For some people, they go out there and they like, 3 months, I'm married, baby. It's like, wow, like, if you go to BYU-Idaho and you don't come back married, what is wrong with you, sister? What did you do? There must be something really wrong with you if you went to BYU-Idaho and you did not come back with a man. Oh my goodness. Like, I don't think I have to go into that much because I think I talked about it a lot on another point when I diverged. But there's just a lot of pressure in the dating world. So that is my pros and cons of going to school at BYU-Idaho. That is just my experience. That is not everybody's experience. Everybody goes through different things. Hey, so comment below what your pros and what your cons were of going to BYU-Idaho. Did you relate to some of the things I said? Did you like never see some of the things I said? Be real. Let me know. I want to do another video about what it's like being black at BYU-Idaho and go into detail with that. If you want that, let me know. If you want anything else, let me know. Are you thinking about going to BYU-Idaho? Are you? Okay, let me know. I can answer some questions for you, baby. All right. You guys have a beautiful day. I hope you enjoyed this video from a graduate from BYU-Idaho. I kept it real with you. So that's all I can do. Love you.